What up, everybody? It's your man Danelle, aka Small Guy Promotions, aka the Omaha Fatty, coming with another podcast episode of What's Up, Omaha. First, I want to say thank you to anyone who has been following the podcast, following me through either one of my channels, Small Guy Promotions or Omaha Fatty. Man, you don't know how much your support means. I really appreciate it so much. Man, the audio podcast, I said that funny, podcast, um, has just recently been, it's been slow growth. When I first started the podcast, I don't know why I was getting a lot of listens and spins outside of the United States. And, it was growing at a pretty good clip for a while there. And it's slowed down since, which is not a huge deal. I'm not too concerned with that because I podcast because I enjoy it. And the thought is if it ever does blow up, I've just got all this content out there to share with people and for people to check out. So it's whatever, it's not like it's costing me anything to do, really. I've talked about it in the past. I got a microphone and a can or a ring light, and uh, you know, it's just costing me time. Which I say that like time isn't important, or maybe I didn't say it like that, but I said it in a way where it sounds like time isn't of the essence or isn't the most valued currency, but it is because we don't get time back, and um, time is important. So, but what I mean is I have time right now. So it's easy for me to set aside some time, 30 minutes here, 15 minutes there, to sit down and podcast. And I enjoy it. I like to talk. Like that is a part of my personality. I enjoy talking. So again, thank you to anyone who's been listening. But uh, I was talking about the amount of listens because the audio version, which is available on most audio platforms, podcasting platforms like, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, Breaker, all those different platforms, iHeartRadio. The podcast is out there and available. So you can search What's Up Omaha to access the podcast, as well as YouTube. And a thing that I found out in the last couple of weeks that was really cool was if you go and ask Alexa, I found that I have to be specific, I have to ask her to find the What's Up Omaha podcast by Small Guy Promotions. Again, the What's Up Omaha podcast by Small Guy Promotions. She will actually find it for you on Apple Podcasts, which I thought was really cool. But yeah, we're closing in on 10,000 listens. That's a huge number for me. I started this podcast years ago and was really inconsistent with it. And I just dedicated myself to being really consistent and creating at least one podcast a week for the last over a year. It's been over a year that I've been doing that. And, I just wanted people to know what to expect and know that there will always be a podcast every Sunday at around 11 a.m. Central Time. There may be some weeks when it's a little later, but overall, 11 a.m. Central Standard or Central Time. There will be a What's Up Omaha podcast out there for you. I am surprised at how much it slowed down because I set a goal for myself to reach 10,000 listens by the end of 2020, and it didn't happen, but it's okay. I'm only like 300 listens away, just over 300. I think like 317 or something like that was the last time that I looked. So we'll get there eventually. I'm patient with it. Again, there's no rush in me getting to 10,000, but it's just a cool number that you can see. It's like a tangible number that, hey, uh, I've had 10,000 listens. So, I'm going to keep sharing all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. I need to do more on TikTok about it. Um, but Twitter, I'm going to try to get the word out about the What's Up Omaha podcast, because I feel like I'm bringing something that's, good. I'm bringing good information, good entertainment. And I get a lot of people who say, thank you for your work in the community. And it's crazy to me because, you know, uh, I'm still just me. So to be able to do this and to reach people is a great thing. And to hear people say thank you is it still takes, some, I don't want to say getting used to, but like, it's just, it's just not something that happens all the time. So when it does happen, you're like, whoa, you're just like humbled and, grateful and appreciative that people recognize you and take time to recognize you, to say thank you for, what you're doing in the community. And that's great. Last week we had Jen Bauer on for city council, and we talked about how, you play your role and in different ways you help. And my way may not be necessarily like someone else's, but it doesn't mean that my part is any less important. So again, I just want to thank you all for listening, man. And if you've ever shared and told anyone else about the podcast, thank you so much. Like, I can't grow without the people out there listening and watching. So, man, it's thanks to you guys. Um, Man, it's just a great feeling. And yeah, man, we're going to continue to make moves. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I know you may not be able to catch every episode, but it's out there if you want to catch it whenever you want to catch it. That's the great thing about podcasts, as opposed to radio. You might miss a show on the radio, but a podcast, you can go and listen at any time, whenever it's convenient for you. So just, thank you guys so much for rocking with me all this time. Whether you're new or you've been listening for a long time, I appreciate you guys, and it's just great to continue to put the work out there, man, and you know, stay consistent. That's what it's all about. And I want you to know that things don't always come easily and they don't always come quickly. But if you continue to do work and you continue to be consistent, someone is going to notice. Um, and opportunities will arise from that consistency. So let's say, I have a friend, Andrew, who used to help. I mean, we just haven't really had a chance to link up and do it, but he's been one of the people who helps with the What's Up Omaha podcast when I have like a videographer. He's behind the camera and doing the editing and whatnot. So shout out to him. Also, side note, shout out to Joe Evans, because he's helped a few times in the past. Joe's also helped me with some photos for Golden Bowl and stuff. So shout out to the people who've helped Small Guy Promotions with that type of stuff. But I know that Andy is no longer really active on Facebook, and I saw an opportunity for him. And a big part of Small Guy Promotions and Omaha Fatty is about helping other people. So I know that he isn't on Facebook, but I saw this post from someone who works for the Omaha World Herald, and they were looking for someone who could do video work. And I just, hit up Andy, and I'm like, hey man, I know you're not on Facebook. I wanted to send you this way, or send this out your way for this opportunity, because I know you wouldn't have seen it. And he responded back and said, thank you. And it just so happened that he was working on a project for a potential client with an ad, where they needed like kind of like a voiceover. And, it was like more kind of like a hip hop themed jingle for the project. And Andy didn't feel like he could do it himself, that he had the right sound, voice or presentation for this ad. So he's like, hey, thank you. And I actually wanted to ask you if you might be interested in helping me out. So, when you do stuff and you're staying active, and like I said, Small Guy and Omaha Fatty is about trying to help and supporting. And when you give and you do stuff just because that's what you want to do and you don't have any like other like just you're not trying to get anything, you're not giving to give, or you're not giving to get, like you're just giving freely. um Things come back to you. And how crazy is that, that he just so happened at that time to have something that he was working on and didn't think that he could do it, and you know needed some help. And you know i I was like, yeah, man, any opportunity to get my myself out there, I'm trying to take it. I used to always want to be an actor and be on camera and stuff, or just whatever opportunities like that. So, man, those type of things have always been something that I've been interested in. So, yeah, man, if I can help you with that, I'm down to help you. And you know, he sent me I the little jingle and the beat and whatnot, and uh, I was having trouble fitting it into the 15-second spot. So I needed to understand the way he wanted it to be presented. So I hit him up and was like, hey, man, can you give me the cadence for this so I can, work within the parameters of what you have, so I can give it to you the way that you want to hear it. He did that. I was like, cool, I'll knock this out for you. I did it. And, you know, when I do stuff, I always like it because I'm in love with myself. Like I like me. I'm not conceited, but I really like me. So I thought it was cool. Sent it over to him. I sent him. I don't know. I took like probably 10, 15 takes of it, and I just took the best, the top three, um, and sent those over to him and said, hey, man, let me know if this is kind of what you're looking for. If you need me to make any adjustments or alterations, I'm down to do that. But I just want to send these over to, as like a starting point to see. He came back and was like, no, man, those are great. He worked on it, put the vocals to the track, and sent it back to me. And I was like, yeah, man, that sounds pretty cool. There's no guarantee that they'll get the project or the bid or however it's working out for them with what they're doing. But if they do and they pick that up, my voice might be heard on a commercial. I don't want to give too much detail because their deal is not closed, and I know I didn't say the company, but it's still up in the air. It's not finalized, so we'll see what happens with that. But this could be something that turns out into an opportunity, and who knows where it'll go from there. Just keep working and grinding, man. Stuff will come along. That's like how I've had speaking gigs. My friend Melissa Glenn, who was on the board with, or is on the board with Hobie, Nebraska. She's asked me to speak to those guys, and I had an MC gig out of it. I had Big Brothers Big Sisters asked me to MC an event for them. I did that. I actually MC 2 events for Big Brothers Big. Well, one was directly for Big Brothers Big Sisters. One was not. It was not organized by them, but by someone who was working with them separately. And I emceed that event. So if you do things and stay consistent, people will notice. If you do it for the right reasons, and you just stay humble and work hard, opportunities will come. That's all that I wanted to say today. And I just really wanted to thank you guys again for listening and getting me closer and closer to 10,000 listens. I don't know how many views I have on YouTube, because I used to use the YouTube channel for just random videos, which, you still might get some of those, but closing in on 14,000 views on the YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out. Actually, while I'm at it, Small Guy Promotions on YouTube and Omaha Fatty on YouTube. The Omaha Fatty stuff will just be videos of me supporting maybe not always local, but restaurants and just different food content. And I've only had that around for, it may have been less than a year, I'm not sure. But we're closing in on 8,000 views on YouTube for that. So again, not huge numbers, but huge for me, and I'm appreciative of it. So shout out to all you guys for following what I'm doing and thinking that I'm interesting enough to give me a moment of your time. I appreciate it, and never forget that. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to grow, and I really want to make this stuff more of a full-time role for myself, so I can quit my full-time job. So anytime that you like and share, or you comment or engage with me, it helps me get closer to my goal, because I want enough people to see where I can start making income from this, and I can, whatever I need to do to get income and just be able to quit my job. So thank you guys so much. As we end every episode, smile, help someone else smile, laugh, and help someone else laugh all day, every day. Support local music, support local in general. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace out. Yeah.